Bayer, we just began Bayer Bekli, or Bayer Biyad, I should say more particularly, in the last year, in Sif Mem Ches in the Shemiras Shabbos, in which he taught us you have to do it Biyad and not Ezra's Kli. And we learned the incredible Chiddush, God bless you, I have a cup, thank you. We learned the incredible Chiddush of Rav Shlomo Zalman in Ha'ara Kuf Mem, in which he taught us that a salt shaker with rice is not called Bayer Bekli, absolutely earth-shattering. Because when you think about it, how is that not Bayer Bekli? The salt shaker is holding back the rice and letting the salt come out. Shlomo Zalman says this massive chiddush that he translates Bayer Bekli as something which is used for the long term. But something that is used for immediate usage, you put the salt directly on your food, is not called Bayer Bekli. He did end off, and he did say that the Chayadam Lemaisa is Machmir. And he said Vitzarach Ian, so Yishlad in what the psak of Shlomo Zalman is, but Lemaisa, there are Harbe, there are Mekilim, there are Machmirim also. I mean, there are, don't think it's Pashit, but that is the Chiddush that we ended off in the previous year. At Siv Mem Tes, he continues, and he answers the $1,000,000 question. The first time you learn Bayer, and you learn something called Bayer Biyad versus Bayer Bikli. Sounds all great and nostalgic, but then you wonder, wait, 1 second, how am I allowed to use a fork? How am I allowed to use a knife? So says Sif Mem Tes, B'chal Yanach Shamigam Kaf, Kapit, Mazlik, Sakin, knife, fork, spoon. Kisheheim, but listen what he says. Mimash Mishim Ki Yad Arucha. When they're functioning as a Yad Arucha, Ve'inon Misayeyam B'maisa Habreira, and they're not eating in the actual act of brayra. Keep going. Hamaiti mazlik basam in Iraq. You want to take a meat from the sauce? I'm not like it's extension of your hand. Hamasir mazlik basam in atzim shebesalachot. I'm not like. Want to take the meat off the bone in order to eat it. If you peel this, so all these things are eating processes, and therefore they're going to be allowed. Now, he's clearly coming to say something isn't going to be allowed, which we'll see in a moment. But look at Ha'ara Kuf Mem Aleph. In Kuf Mem Aleph, he says, this is answering up the words of the Mishnah Berurah, and Mishnah Berurah says, Asr lekachat bekaf. Mishnah Berurah says, you're not allowed to take the shuman, we'll see, the fat that's floating on top of your pot. Says Mishnah Berurah, you're not allowed to remove it with a kaf. What do you mean? We just said you're allowed to use a kaf. So he says that's how we just answered it, because we just said that you're not doing a meiser brayer, which is what we're going to go into in Sif Nun in a moment. Continues the footnote of Yishloimar, Number one, either if you're using, you don't want to get your hands dirty. Number two, you can't reach it with your hands. Or number three, you don't want to get your hands wet. All those cases are mutter. We're going to see other cases which are not, which are cases in Sivkata and Nun Hey through Samach Beis, which we'll get to in a moment, which the Kaf and the Mazaleg is allowing for an easier form of Bayer. Shim said, the Maisa Bayer. The actual Bayer Bimsari said Kli, Vakachi in the Igros Maisha. That's what we have to know. So a fork and a spoon, it's not a carte blanche heter. And one of the biggest reasons is a perforated spoon. Perforated spoon is clearly, you're not using a perforated spoon just because you need to pick up the liquid or pick up the food. You're using it to do a maisa breira. So if you want to take out vegetables with a perforated spoon, that would be 100% a problem. What do you mean? I just want to get the vegetables out. I don't want to get... No, you don't. Why did you take the perforated spoon? We're going to get there in a moment. The reason is so that when you pick up the veggies, all the liquid comes out. That is a maisa. That is a maisa breira. Just to... I heard we said, yeah, what about Chalon? Can you Chalon? Can I use perforated spoon for Chalon? Absolutely not. Let's get there. Let's get there. Look, let's get there. Let's get there. Let's get there. Let's get there. There. I mean, we answered it. Why did you use a fork? Because you want to get your hands wet. You get it. Yeah, you let it. You picked up the good and the bad is falling away. You're not doing anything. Pashti not doing anything in that case. That would not be a problem. But let's get there. Let's get there. He wants to know if you pick up, you take a piece of meat and let the juice drip off of it. Let juice drip off it. What did you Challen? What's this doing Challen? He picked up a piece of meat. No perforated spoon. No perforated spoon. He picked up a piece of meat, as if you a fruit by the foot, and he's holding it and it's just dripping off. Right, and since the tea bag is inside of the reshet, inside of the bag, that's why it's a problem. Very good, Mayor. Beautiful. Seif nun. Shechvas hashuman. So nun. We're going to skip about a bunch of these because we don't really have these mitziusim so much, as you'll see in a moment. Shechvas hashuman hamitztaberet bechelkoi elyon shel bakbuk chalav. So you opened up your bottle of milk, and there was some floating stuff on top. So I don't think anyone here, yeah, no one here is like, oh, let me just take off the top part of it. No. Okay, but what he says is, oh, what else are you gonna do? Motor lasire bikaf. Wait, and you know why you're taking off the stuff on the top? To eat it, avado. It's the best part. This is Mayor Smetna. Motor lasire bikaf alminas oichla miyad minakav shebiyadoi. You gotta take your spoon, scrape off the top to eat it. Let's say right now you're not holding there. You're going to get there later. Or even if you want to eat it right now, but you're not going to eat on this spoon. What? Eat it in the fridge? No. You're going to take it and put it in a bowl of ada. Then you're going to sit down and mix it with sugar. Then it is usher. What he's pointing out is that your spoon is now functioning as a bayer utensil. I'll give you an example that maybe you could all appreciate. Cholent, just because Mayor wants cholent today. Sometimes if you let the cholent sit out too long, it gets this like film on top. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Yes. So what do, I don't want to call anyone not normal. What do normal people do right now? You just mix the cholent. You throw out the whole cholent. That's it, no cholent. You just mix the cholent, it's all good. But some people, you put the echi part inside. So what do? You skim off the top of it. That would be usher. That would be usher, because you're utilizing the spoon to do an act of skimming. For example, a soup sometimes, if you let it sit, the fat could congeal on the top of it. So you want to take the spoon and you want to skim off the top. And meat could congeal, and you want to take the spoon. So now your spoon is acting as a bayrer utensil. No, that's why it's usher. That's why it's usher. It could be you could, but it's definitely doing it better. It's definitely doing better. Now, the Eitzah is, which we'll see in a moment, again, Nun wasn't so, if you look at the footnote, if Zakir Shem Zalman, what if the only way to get to the bottom is by getting rid of this stuff on top? Oh, Zakir Shem Zalman, it's about 7 lines from the bottom of this page. First line is Achalov. Shemati Shem Zalman, Shem Master Sashum Kedeshi Efshel Hoitz is Achalov. Shab Erdami. If you're just trying to get to the next layer, then it's like Mutaliklev Primiklipusai, then it would be allowed. And then he said even Mutarikaf. 1 second, fine, very good. Good. Weiter. Let's move on. These cases are not so negir to us. Nun Aleph again is krum acholav hamisave b'kteir al gabi acholav hamavushal. Again, you can't scrape off the top of it. Nun beis. You don't need it with the fat on top, and you don't need it with the chunky floating guys inside of it. So now, what do you want to? Again, no one's doing this. You're not filtering out your milk. Yeah. That face was scary. Also is sunniness acholav. Again, none of this is negir. Let's continue. Nun gimel. Nun gimel is very, very negir. Mashke. Most people drink it regularly. You also drink it. Now, that line is a loaded line. What does it mean? Sinan means to filter. You also eat it. But you also eat it. We're going to have to define that. And this is going to be whether you're allowed to use your Brita filter on Shabbos in Eretz Yisrael. Mutter l'sananoi afilu b'misanenet. You can even use a misanenet. Because since you normally drink it, there's a chiddush here. Since you normally drink it, you're allowed to filter it out. Now, everyone should be bothered. Why in the world is that true? I normally eat many things. That's the whole bayr, that when I take it out, it becomes psilus, right? Okay, we have to get there in a moment. Chalaf, again, back to our wonderful milk. Yum. Normal people. The next case is maybe a little more palatable for us. Let's say you by accident bought the Grove Stand orange juice. Heavy pulp, and you can't handle it. So what do you want to do? You want a filter. Now, how exactly you're going to do it? Yishladen, maybe you take like a cheesecloth, or maybe you take some other cloth, and you pour it through, and it keeps all the pulp on top, and it goes through. It's mutter. Question is, why in the world is this mutter? First of all, it's mutter. That's the psak halacha. That's the most important here. Is that it's mutter. If most people drink something, you're allowed to filter it. Water. Let's just go into water for a moment. You're in Eretz Yisrael. No, I never drink the water. You have to just be careful with that statement. You never drink the water. You don't have ice cubes. Ice cubes is not filtered water. No, you just have to be careful because you're not being honest. But the ice cubes usually are made from regular water, and you drink the ice cubes. Often, if you drink any of the petals of the world that are made are regular water. Yesh and what else it is? What? Yeah, unless you order. No, some people order the bottled water. So if you're mamish militant in a chanami, and then it's a whole shiloh, does it go by, does it go by you, does it go by wife, does it go by one that puts it into the bread, does it go by one that puts it into the fridge? Okay, good shiloh. But Lamaisa, once you drink it, so much so, the question is, what if you only drink it b'shas chak? What if you only drink it b'shas chak? I can't find this over here. There's a Minchas Yitzchak that says, if you drink it b'shas chak, that's okay as well. The example you want to give, what if you're on a hike? And you know the water when you drink it. You're not going to die, but it's a shas chak. Playing basketball and you know the water. When you go drink it, so some people say absolutely not. I'd rather not play than drink the water from the sink. Now, whenever you get past that point, that's the point it's going to be motiv. Now, why is it motiv? Look at Ha'ara, Kof Samach Gimel. He explains, Ayin the Iglei Tal. Iglei Tal explains, who's the Iglei Tal? Obviously, it wasn't for you to explain. Ayin the Iglei Tal, the Mikol Makam, Oichel Meruba Shenis Arba Ma'at Pseles, also the Baras of Pseles. I don't understand. If I have a lot of food with little pseles, I'm not allowed to take out the pseles. Most people are not makbid. But for me, it's pseles. I'm not allowed to take it out. So why is there any difference? The shiny hacha. This is the line. The hakol gof echad. Sharoi l'shtoisei kach. V'loi choshev pseles klau. This is similar to if you have a piece of meat and the meat is half of it is well and half of it is medium, and you personally like the medium meat, so you want to cut it in half and eat the medium side. Is anyone going to say, "Fire! You cut off the well done"? No, it's a perfectly fine piece of meat. So too, when you have water, when you have mitts, when you have items that roiv people eat, and even you eat it, not only, you see how far this chiddush goes of min echad, not only can you filter it, you can even use a filter. Nodality says, don't drink it, then you're not allowed to, even if you yourself just don't drink it, you're not allowed to filter it. And this we're going to end with nun hey, just so Meir could go home and make his cream cheese. Aser lishvei chalav chamutz. What do you do with the spoiled milk? You pour it into what? Your wife's old stockings. L'toyasakit bad. That's just the way that they do it in Yerushalayim. Could be their new ones. I'm not sure. Kadei shemei chalav yuzlu mimenu v'agvina tishar b'saket. Avada, you hang it up on the porch, and all the other stuff flows away, and what's inside there makes beautiful cream cheese. Have a great Shabbos.